guys, welcome to another exciting episode of our movie reviews. This is brought to you by every NG. You know we have unlimited Nigerian trends for you. Now my name is Judith and I am here with
Bye.
Why are you so dramatic?
You are about to review a movie. Wow.
Yes,
it's a line.
Yes, like she said, we are about to review a movie for you. Remember that we have these movie reviews every week, and we always ask you, what do you want to see us review? And we bring the most interesting watch to you every single week. What do we have for them today?
Today is a different one, and of course, you know it's always going to be interesting. And this one is Nimbe. When I saw the title, I was like, Nimbe. I've tried to make the meaning out of it until I saw the movie and I got to know that it's like a short form of a name. Oluwanimbe. It's a Yoruba name that means God is the one who is or who exists.
So basically, God exists.
Of course.
Interesting.
So it's a movie that it's not up to 2 hours. It's not the long 3 hours Indian movie like we always know that Indian movies are always long, but interesting anyway. But it's not up to 2 hours. But it's packed with a lot of things. Our society was pictured in this movie. Different kind of families and stuffs. This movie was produced by Folarin Laoshun and Oluwanimbe Daniel. And we've seen their movies before now. And of course, the major cast of that movie. If you have seen this movie, Kasala. You know what I'm talking about.
Casanova as well.
And if you have seen Handicapped, you know that Chimeze Imo was the main cast of the movie. And the major cast, you know, it had a lot of persons inside the movie. People, like, there were plenty. But the major ones were like 17.
Yeah. And
the director of the movie is Tokbe Alake. And the movie was shot in Ibadan, Oyo State Capital.
That's a different pick. Like usually we have movies shot in Lagos, Abuja, sometimes abroad. But picking Ibadan, I think I already like where this is headed. Now, one thing that stood out for me in the movie is it explored the why of drug abuse, drug use, and not necessarily the what. Now, most times when people hear, okay, this person is abusing drugs, it's always like, what are you taking? You're taking this substance and that substance and, you know, distribution networks and all. But this time around, they focused on why. And everybody, like for every single character in that movie, especially people who were involved actively in drug abuse, they had their different whys. And then two people that they used to picture every other person or mirror every other person was Ralph and Nimbe. Two young boys, different stories.
One thing about Ralph is I like his costume and they picked the best cast for that particular one.
Honestly, he looked it to the T. He was just like, this boy, you sure you don't do drugs if you...
When he sees leaves, like,
oh my
this guy
goodness.
has experience.
No, the costumer did an amazing job. I must give it to them.
So going into the movie, we had this family, the family of Nimbe, the Baba Nimbe, Mama Nimbe, Baba Nimbe.
Bayo and Uduak. AKA Mama and Papa Nimbe.
Uduak made a very good impression in the movie with the way she murdered Nimbe, kind of, in a way.
For the most part.
The attraction was that I like this Calabar woman. Like this. It was a spice to the movie because they used English, they used Yoruba, they used Pidgin, and of course Udwa came with her accent.
And there was also a bit of Hausa in it. It was a whole lot. But again, I felt like, was it necessary for Udwak to have that strong Efik accent?
Man,
was it necessary? She did it really well. She did it really well. But I'm saying, like, with the production of the movie, most times you're always focusing on, most Nigerians who come from those ethnic groups don't have the accent, that strong accent. Her name alone did enough justice to the intertribal marriage they were trying to depict, in my opinion. But she did the accent. It was flawless. But was there need for it? I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm not sure
she did it well.
But she did it well, yes.
So let's get into one of the things that I would say they didn't do well was the part where they was to chop the hand of a guy.
Oh my goodness.
I was waiting for the action. You know, now we have seen different movies in Nigeria where we have these costumes well done.
Special effects and things like that,
But this one, I was waiting for how they would give us this outing, but you could have done well because they did a good job in the movie cumulatively.
Honestly,
but that would have been a very good spice.
And it just went black. I'm like, okay,
show me now.
What was that? But even if they couldn't get someone to, sever the hand in makeup or blood splash, just something to tell us that, okay, this hand was actually chopped off. But no, they went black. Okay.
And then talking about the language they used in the movie. But before then, to picture what happened to Nimbe and the family and how he was bullied. Bullying is not something we should shy away from talking about in a society. Yeah. And that was one of the things that happened. But Nimbe was unable to tell his family what he was going through in school.
Because his family was already chaotic. He didn't even
want to add just
everybody. It was just a whole lot.
So we saw how he went to buy food. And the bullies accosted him.
Benji and Co. If I catch you.
No, seriously.
If I catch you. It was really, at first, when, before that movie passed, where they tried to take his textbook, where they took his breakfast in school, I was already feeling some type of way. I was already in my feelings. And then that food thing happened, and I'm like, you know what? This is the height.
You just killed it.
This is the height. And he fell. But with that scene, you could see him so jolly, coming home, normal Nimbe, jovial Nimbe, and then Benji struck. Put his foot and Nimbe fell. That was really painful. And the fall was real.
That was it for me. No,
the fall was real, and I love the fact that even when he stood up and went to his dad, you could see the
stains on his clothes,
the mud, everything. It was just real. But then again, they touched on bullying. Most times, especially in the society that we find ourselves in, it's just like, okay, why can't you fight back? And Nimbe's dad did that. Why can't you fight back? Okay, people are bullying you, bully them back. It's not that easy.
When you watch some stunt in movie and they say, don't try this at home. No parents should try what Baba Nimbe did in this movie.
It's not
How would you ask your say, go there and fight? If you are my son, if you really are my son, go and fight. And I actually followed him. I said,
what would Nimbe do?
Poor Nimbe. So again, to another one that didn't really sit well was the place where Abu and AK went to test slack.
Yeah.
The drug. And if this guy is really into drug business like they showed us and it was portrayed in the movie, she's able to do some sniffing.
They were able to do some sniffing.
My guy,
he blew it.
He duped us.
He duped us,
yes.
Really. It was really funny to watch because basically when you're inhaling stuff, it comes in.
But my guy
went out.
Abracadabra for that. What was that? You just wasted time.
You wasted
and it was not
me
as if you did Jack.
Come on. And for context, Abu is supposed to be AK's partner. He's like his northern distributor, sort of his partner for helping him in the northern area to distribute his drugs.
And that thing also exposed something about Nigeria. Does that mean that northern youth or people in the north takes drug more than other persons in other parts of the country? Because that was what they tried to portray to us in the movie.
That was it. But
Slack was produced in Ibadan in the movie,
yes,
and transported to the north.
So that's a really big question.
I think NDLEA should put some eye into this. And again, the major sponsor of this movie was Nigerian Senate. So that means that it's a collaboration to talk about a major menace in a society.
And it came after that documentary Sweet Codeine. I don't know if you saw it, Sweet Codeine, and they decided, this is going to be a spin-off from that documentary, and I think he did an amazing job. It was just cementing everything that they had done with the documentary. So yes, I'll give them that one. Now, we've spoken about, I just want to touch on Nimbe's family a bit.
Okay.
Just slightly. So we all know that Bayo, that's Nimbe's dad, is abusive. He's verbally abusive. He's just
mentally abusive.
He's just a whole lot. And then every single time, Nimbe's mom is always trying to fight him off. And it's just like a very, very perfect depiction of a family that let me not say a typical family, but a family who is going through, or a mother going through abuse, but she wants to shield her son and protect herself at the same time. She doesn't want to take nonsense, but it's still abuse. She's living in denial, basically. It's like, okay, you're going to fight me, I'll fight you too. Don't touch my son. And they kept on going at it. For every single scene you see Nimbe's parents, they're like cat and rats, just trying to strangle each other, and I don't know, it was just a whole lot.
It was just chaotic.
Yeah, it was very chaotic. And I felt like that plot got lost as they kept on going. Because it's one thing to show me that these people are abusive. But why is it that every
time
single scene
it was tension?
It was just
everywhere.
tension. It was a lot. I would say it was a lot.
Are you saying they over?
Yeah, I felt like they should have mellowed on that a bit and maybe focused on other people, on other characters. In fact,
anyway,
let's continue.
What I had need to talk about again was AK. You know, Udwak, Nimbe's mom when she was looking, like this boy has changed, and she tried to do a CIA job. She followed her son and got to know that he always stays or has been going to AK's, do we call it shrine now? Oh, I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. And she was disappointed. She was disappointed. She was everything bad, and she cried. She told, "Give me my son. Don't let my son come back here."
Yeah.
Apparently, she's been there for some times, only for business to make AK's sister's heir. That's Peju.
Yeah.
So at that point, when AK said, "Okay," spoke to Nimbe, "Go and pray to your mom. Don't do this. Make her proud. Blah 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 blah." And then, in a flip, after a while, now saw AK giving Nimbe gun to kill someone.
It was just like, okay, so on one hand you're giving me advice, telling me about angels, how mothers are angels on earth, and I should apologize to my mom, go and tell her that I wouldn't take drugs anymore and all that, and in like 2 seconds it's something else.
Like a mentor in doing evil.
It was really confusing for me, and I don't know what they were trying to pull out with those like what they were trying to pull off with those two scenes, but the connection, I just didn't get it. I did not get the connection between giving him a gun, telling him to apologize to his mom, and then giving him a gun in like some scenes after. It was just really weird.
They didn't tie it to what happened, that he now changed his mind from mentoring him. You know, AK was the person who didn't allow his sister to go into all the things, the deals he was doing. Like, I don't want you to go into this. He provided money, anything she needed, available. And said Nimbe is now his favorite cousin. So that means that he has two people he's shielding from the shady deals.
Yeah.
And then now mentoring him to kill, not even to beat somebody or harass or just do one shakara. So it's really to kill someone. It was, I don't know what to make of that. So there's sharp contrast. Very, very, very sharp contrast.
I think that's the best way to, it was a very sharp contrast. But let's not take away from the fact that, you know, you spoke about how Udrak was doing CIA work. And I was just really shocked when, you know, when Nimbe took his money, he broke his colo and he took his money. And then they showed like a short fence. Next thing, she just popped up. I'm like,
madam,
where is this one coming from? But I love the long shots in that particular scene. Like, you could see the entirety of the scene. Nimbe moving, his mom following him, you know, popping up. It was just, I think the director of photography or the cameraman or whoever was doing the videography did a good job. The director, right? But the person handling the camera himself is like, let me give them these long shots. And it was really good.
The order from the director. They all did well. They all did well.
They all did an amazing job with that. The long shots were amazing. I must say.
You know, when you talk about a movie, talk about the scenes, the locations, everything that you need for a movie. No, they needed a good place to show as AK's house. AK's supposed to be a rich person who is in drug deals and a lot of shady deals that makes money.
Yeah.
So maybe the couch in his house should be expensive.
Oh,
and that would be the reason why they did this in this scene. You know, Peju got pregnant for one of the guys, Lemon. One of AK's our brother's guys who were also into the drug deals. And then, unfortunately, she got an abortion done, which we do not recommend here. Okay, so she was bleeding apparently. And they brought her in. She was bleeding already. And I was thinking they were supposed to make her sit on a succulent chair to at least cushion
the pain and stuff. It was,
but my babe, they stylishly make her sit down on the floor. Like,
you need to see, like, she came in, she was limping, and you could tell that she was almost falling on the chair. Then her friend came, circled around, and no, we don't do that over here. You can't stay in this couch. I think I was a little bit too obvious. It was very obvious that they were trying to avoid any of those. Come on.
No way. Just stay in the chair and if you actually rented that chair, you just pay some damages. I'm making it look great.
We'll give it to the dry cleaners. I don't know. Just do something. But yeah, that was it. But I don't know. Pedro, when the first time Nimbe saw Pedro, he had like strong feelings for her. I just want to touch on that. And then his friend Ralph told him, you know what, get rid of all these feelings. But I feel like there wasn't enough development for their story.
Maybe
Pedro and
he
Nimbe.
needed the
Yeah, but like next thing he was in AK's house, he was painting her, and that was literally all we saw of all of them together. But when she was injured and when Lemon hurt her, he was the most angry of all the guys.
Of course, he had a feeling somewhere that could not be developed.
But do you think that the time we spent on the Ogunta days, as Bayo and Uduak, could have spent it developing Nimbe and Pedro, at least to an extent?
I think I like it because not every feeling should end in a relationship.
No, it doesn't have to end in a relationship, but we just needed to see how he evolved from maybe having love interest to seeing her as a sister or something.
Remember that Nimbe at this moment is now a cousin to AK. So there was no way they will have dated themselves because they are now
family members by association. Anyway, so yeah. Then talking about Nimbe, that punch, I don't want to call it a punch, the way he hits Lemon, because remember we just played a clip where Pedro had an abortion and she was bleeding, and unfortunately she died from that, and he got Nimbe really upset. He got him angry, he was agitated, he's like, oh no, I'm going to kill this guy. But that punch or that club hitting, oh my god,
Nigeria, we call it knocking.
It was so real. It was so real.
But I love that action, it was real, but the effect of that hitting didn't make the actual scene real. Because by now the guy should be bleeding. If
he was,
do you know how
maybe he was bleeding internally. Because it's a blunt stick, right? So maybe it wouldn't scratch him, but inside his head is already bleeding.
I don't think so.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Why did he bleed, please? Somebody
because
should explain.
at this point it should be bleeding, and might not really need the bullet that AK wasted on him. It should have been that passed out or died
or something, from the impact of that stick. Yeah, but oh well. So,
but the action was good.
It was good. The way he hit him is like.
But don't offend anybody to the extent that they will give that kind of beatings.
That's really
might not live to tell the story. Okay, so we moved from there. You know, in the movie, Nimbe was portrayed as a very good guy who knows how to draw.
Yeah, he was.
That was the ticket into AK's art.
Yeah.
Because it was when he drew the portrait on his birthday that I said, this guy is very talented.
Wait to adopt him as my cousin. Oh my god.
And he got it. But they broke my heart. After he became the cousin, adopted cousin, and was in the house with Peju, and then drew Peju.
First he drew AK. It looks nice. It looks like okay.
AK said, this doesn't look like me. This is me.
You know? It looks really lovely. And if I was Peju, I would be angry because it was me that brought AK's own. Why is my own like this?
No.
And then we moved on from AK's painting to Peju's painting, and I'm like, hold on.
Maybe he wasn't concentrating.
Hold on a minute. What's going on here?
Maybe he wasn't concentrating. Maybe he was thinking about
the only thing he got was the outfit.
Yeah, I can draw that one.
Anybody can, but the face, nah.
It's not just to draw one black, one white, one black.
So yeah, the disparity there was too much.
They should have just given the person who
did AKs
to draw this one, and they will have a very smooth outing for the drawing. At least to depict it really well that Nimbe
is a creative and talented person. Okay, so I want to speak on one thing first. You know, we bashed them for that their hand cutting scene.
Yeah.
But we need to commend them for the shooting scene. Now, the part where Nimbe was upset at Benji, who is his bully, has been bullying him for a while. So obviously this is pent up anger. And next thing we know, Nimbe has a gun in class. I'm like, hold on. Things are happening so fast here. Nimbe, how? How did we get to this point? So Nimbe brings out his gun and he asks, because Benji already upset him, and he said, Benji, apologize. Benji was like, for what? Nimbe said, okay. He went to his school bag, brought out the gun, and next thing he's pointing the gun and he shot Benji. Now, based off what happened before, I'm like, they're not going to show Benji's face, but they did. And bro,
that was the perfect shot. You did well.
Oh my god.
You did well. I give it to you 10-10.
I mean, it will take people. I feel like it will take people like a few seconds to register that Benji is actually alive. Like when they see him in real life, like because they saw this, it looks like an actual gunshot wound.
Yeah.
The dents, everything was just it was amazing. Well, so why did they now put the same energy into that other scene?
Maybe it's more difficult to paint a chopped off risks.
Yeah, than it is to. But it's possible.
We've been seeing
it's
it.
very possible. So
even in Nigerian movies, there's this guy who does a lot of real good costumes from them, and it's nice. I don't know. I can't say for them, but yeah. So this is basically what we brought out from this movie. There's a whole lot, and we decided that I want to talk about everything. Come on, we are going to be here till tomorrow. The one thing again that we should give as a giveaway for you on this show is, how do you get out of bullying? Because if Nimbe had spoken up maybe to someone, because for instance, if at the point he met Raf, it wasn't helped at that point, this thing would continue. But Raf helping him did actually help out in all of these things. So if you have somebody bullying you, talk to somebody you can confide in, and might be a way out.
Just be a way out. And at this point, I just feel like meeting Raf wasn't even necessarily a good thing for him.
In the end.
Yes, in the end. Initially, we were like, okay, this person saved you from bullies. But as the story progressed, I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. So yeah, like I said previously, Nimbe's story is just one out of thousands and millions of people who experience drug abuse, who get into this loop of constantly using drugs and depending on drugs. I mean, we had Ralph who had money, so we wouldn't say it's a thing of poverty all the time. So I mean, I would 100% recommend you see this movie. Yes, 100% recommend you see the movie. But
especially for parents,
teenagers, even teachers.
That's child. I said, gosh. Okay, I pass it. All right. So if you have not seen Nimbe, try and see it and let us know what you think about all we have said about the movie. If you think you align with our thoughts, let us know. If you think that there are other things that we did not say that you saw, let us know.
Of course.
And of course, we'll be here again. And another movie that you want us to review, let us know.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. My name is Judith, and this is
Tai.
And until next time, this is Every NG. Stay tuned.